When we remember that we are beautiful, positive beings of light, and we use that remembrance to open up our body in beautiful ways, we can accomplish so much. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Let's begin. I'm so excited that you are here. Join me down low in a cross-leg position. We call that easy pose or sukhasana. Or you can find something like a locust pose, pulling one heel in really close towards your body and then pulling the opposite heel in almost directly in front of that. Rest down through your arms and your hands and your fingers, maybe palms facing up towards the ceiling or palms rooted down on the knees or the thighs. Decide now if you would like to sit on a block or two, a blanket. I'm sitting on a rolled up blanket. You can grab a bolster, a really thick pillow, or none of the above and start to feel the connection of your seat. As you notice the next cycle of breath, allow that to sort of soften your gaze. And with each breath for the next couple of rounds here, we're just going to allow the breaths to soften our gaze more and more gently, lovingly, until maybe the eyes come fully all the way down to the ground or your mat, or maybe you can slightly see the nose. And there's a beautiful invitation to find a soft closure of the eyes altogether. See if you can feel this beautiful energetic line from the crown of the head, reaching down past the skull, cervical spine, all the way down the mid back, the low back or the L5, the tailbone, and feel your sit bones resting. Allow your thighs to be heavy. Allow the knees to be heavy. Energetically with your mind, draw them down towards the ground so that you really open up your hips. And just notice the cycles of breath beautifully flowing in and graciously flowing back out. We'll take one more cycle of breath here as we just notice our seat. And with the eyes closed or soft gaze or fully open, roll the shoulders forward. Squeeze them up towards your ears and find a slightly taller seat and then roll them back and down. Really melt them away from your ears. A slight squeeze in the shoulder blades there. And we'll do 2 more rounds just like that. See if you can really get into it. Let the arms and the fingers and the hands just loosen as you roll the shoulders forward. Squeeze them up. Find that slightly taller seat and then roll it back and down. Last time here, see if you can marry the breath with the movement. Inhale as you squeeze the shoulders up to the ears. Roll it back and down on a generous exhale. Now we will crack the eyelashes fully open here. Reach the arms out, around, and all the way up. We'll call this a column of light as we look up. The fingertips are spread wide like starfish, facing each other. This is our inhale here. Really, really reach, feel the stretch in the side body. And then exhale, cactus arms. So the palms are going to shine forward. We're going to bend 90 degrees at the elbows, but really try to pull the arms back so that you can't see your hands moving and waving from left to right. So that's our exhale. Really draw that down. And we're going to do that 4 more times. So inhale, reach up, look up, marry the breath with the movement. Exhale, pull the elbows down. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, cactus arms, spread the fingertips wide. twice more. Inhale, reach up, look up. And exhale, cactus the arms. Feel the stretch in the chest and the shoulder girdle. Last time, inhale, reach up, look up. And exhale, we're gonna hold this here. Really pull the elbows down, really pull the heart space open. Spread the fingertips wide. We have this for one more beautiful inhale in through the nose. You got this. And a generous exhale back out. Slowly float the fingertips down, all the way down, back towards your thighs. Beautiful. We're going to reach this right arm across towards the left and then hook our left forearm in front. Really squeeze and pull that in. And fingertips can be wide here, like light beams shining through them, or if it feels better just to kind of hold a loose fist, go for that if that feels better. Inhale to sit up a little taller, reach a little higher, and exhale. Allow the right ear to hover over the right shoulder. Don't just hang out here. Feel the stretch on the left side of the neck. Really reach for something towards the left side with that right hand. We have this for one more cycle of breath. You could close your eyes here to really tune in. Open the eyes and then reach the arms back out. We're going to go cactus arms here. And then exhale, float them all the way back down to the thighs. We'll switch sides and then we'll move into a cat-cow flow. So really reach that left arm over towards the right side of your body and then hook that right forearm in front. Turn it around, really press that in towards your chest, reaching towards the right with the left hand. And now we're here on the opposite side, stretching the outside of this left shoulder. Inhale, find a slightly taller seat. Exhale, let the left ear hover over the left shoulder. Again, invitation to close the eyes here if that feels yummy. Invitation just to tap in with the breath or the bodily sensations. Inhale to bring your gaze back up to neutral. And then exhale, really reach it back out. Cactus arms last time. Inhale, reach up. Column of light, fingertips spread wide, palms kiss at the top, and then gently, slowly melt them down, heart center, Anjali Mudra. We're going to dive ourselves forward into tabletop position from here so that we can get into a juicy cat-cow flow and warm up our spine, front body, back body. So join me. Move that blanket off to the side if you had it, or the bolster, or the box. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hip points. Calves and feet are parallel to each other. We're in a neutral tabletop position, so engage your spine, engage your navel to spine, just for a bit. Your focus is down on the mat. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, push the earth away for your cat. Inhale, drop your belly, cow. Exhale, maybe close the eyes, chin to chest, cat. Inhale, chest shines forward, pull your tailbone high. Exhale, push the earth away, claw through the fingertips. Inhale, keep flowing back and forth. Feel the stretch in the glutes for your cow. And pull that tailbone down for your cat. Last time, exactly where we are in this cat-cow flow. Enjoy the moment. Notice the breath. And we'll come back to a neutral tabletop position. We're going to slide our knees back just a bit so that we can come into puppy pose. So from tabletop position, sliding the knees back maybe 3 to 5 inches. And then allowing the fingertips and the forearms to slide forward. You can use a block or a blanket or a bolster underneath your chest or your forehead here. And we're coming into trying to find a 90-degree angle in the knees and the hips. Keeping our forehead down on the mat. Once we've reached as far forward as we can, just allow the arms to soften just a touch. And we're holding this here, this puppy pose, for a few cycles of breath. It's a big heart opening pose, but it's also such a really good stretch and pose to stretch the lats, the triceps, the glutes, the knees, the ankles, the everything. I'm going to go silent here for the next couple rounds of breath. Close your eyes if that feels really good to you. Let's see if you can notice the cycles of breath. Last moment in our puppy pose. Draw down through your feet, really press them into the mat. And use your next cycle of breath to bat the eyelashes open and press yourself back up. So whoop your ponytail aside and bring your wrists underneath your shoulders, knees somewhere about underneath your hip points. And we're going to swoop the left foot forward, coming into a low supported runner's lunge. And frame the left foot with the left hand. So left hand comes outside that left foot. Try to find a 90-degree angle in that left knee. And then right away, we're going to shift the hips forward and down as much as we can so that we can feel a really generous stretch in that right hip flexor. So fingertips can be on the mat here, or you can have blocks, one underneath each palm to bring the earth up to you. Remember, the higher the block, the less strain you will feel for your low back. So notice what you need, take what you need, and find a generous breath in through your nose and back out as you really try to shine your chest forward. Pressing down through that back foot into the mat for support. Really trying to spread awareness in through all four corners of this left foot for greater support. And there's this gentle engagement of the inner thighs trying to squeeze and hug towards each other for support as well. With their chest and with those shoulders, really roll it forward and back. Last moment here. As you exhale, curl the back toes under and shift the hips back to half splits. Flex the left toes towards the left shoulder and then see how far you can melt your nose towards your knee. You can keep a generous bend in this left knee. You're still working on hamstring flexibility. You could close your eyes here. There's always a yummy moment to close the eyes, and I just love that about yoga. I love the opportunities to tune in, to tap in to yourself, notice the bodily sensations. And from those bodily sensations that you notice, you make some little love notes to yourself. What felt good? What could be worked on later? We're holding no judgment, no expectations here. Just breathing deeply, enjoying that life force, that prana. We're going to gently roll it back up to a low lunge. And then back toes can stay curled if that helps you for support and for stability, or you can uncurl them. Swoop this big ball of energy up and over for a low crescent lunge. Palms will shine forward. This is our inhale to really reach tall. Exhale, cactus those arms. Really puff up the chest, find a generous back bend here. Inhale, reach up, look up, maybe come back to a neutral spine, neutral chest. Exhale, cactus those arms. Open your chest. Feel the support underneath. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, really pull the cactus arms back. Again, you can't see your hands waving left to right. So really work on opening up that chest. Last moment to reach up and then wiggle it on down, runner's lunge or low lunge. Swoop the left foot back to that tabletop position. And from here, neutral tabletop position, shift the hips over towards the left, both hips over towards the left, and your gaze is towards the right heel. Inhaling through the nose, maybe open mouth exhale. Inhale back to center. Exhale, switch sides. So both hips shift over towards the right, clawing through the fingers, and our gaze is looking towards the left heel. Feel the cool air come in on the inhale. And back to center on the exhale. Shift that right foot forward now to that low lunge. Once you get there, once you frame that front foot with your right hand, then shift the hips forward and down. Start to work on that. Maybe at first it's a pulsing sort of sensation just to warm up this left hip flexor. You'll notice me lifting my toes so that I can really spread awareness into all four corners of my front foot, because that's where a lot of support is coming from here, a lot of strength. Really dig that big toe mound in towards the mat. Sounds a little freaky, but I promise it helps. And really, really press the left foot in towards the mat, almost as if someone had it nailed down or taped down, okay? So really find some stillness here. When you're ready, we're opening up our chest even more. Maybe fingertips on the mat or on blocks on any height. Feel the stretch in the left hip flexor. Gaze is forward. Heart is open. Roll your shoulders down away from your ears. You got this. So good. Curl the left toes under, and on an exhale, send the hips back to half splits. Flex the right toes towards the right shoulder. Try to melt your nose as closely towards your right knee as you can. And this is still an opportunity where you could use blocks here, maybe for the sake of your low back. Maybe we're using blocks here as we sort of work our way down towards pressing our palms into the mat. Holding this here, maybe noticing the rhythm, the pace of the breath, or the rhythm of the heartbeat. You close your eyes here like I have done so already. Again, that beautiful moment to reset, tap back in to you, to your thoughts, the beautiful patterns of the mind. Ardha Hanuman, or half splits. Use your next inhale to swoop your ponytail yet again and to roll this right foot forward, coming now into a low crescent lunge. So big inhale, swoop that ball of energy up and overhead. Palms shine forward. When you're ready, inhale again, really reach tall. Exhale, cactus arms, open your chest. Feel the stretch in the armpit, chest, the shoulder girdle. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus those arms. Really pull your navel to spine here to help support you. Squeeze those inner thighs together as we take one more round. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, cactus those arms. Beautiful. Inhale, reach up, look up, and then wiggle it on down. Swoop the right foot back, tabletop position. When you get there, curl the toes under and send the hips up to downward facing dog on an exhale. So inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Heart melts towards your thighs. Pedal the feet here right away to warm up the backs of the legs even more, the ankles, the arches of the feet. We're clawing through our fingertips to take a little bit of pressure out of the wrist. Walking our dog in place, trying to sort of cover our ears a little bit with our shoulders. So instead of us being here, maybe in a downward facing dog with the chest sort of at a maybe 45-degree angle, we're really trying to bring it in. We're really trying to melt that heart towards our thighs. So the shoulders are kind of covering the ears there. And we find stillness in our downward facing dog, turning the toes in just a bit, heels out just a bit. Option to close the eyes. See if you can consciously take a loving breath in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Inhaling again. Bend at the knees. Exhale, send the knees down towards the mat. Big toes to touch. Knees go super wide. We melt our heart down to the mat yet again for a wide child's pose. So slide the fingertips forward. Melt your heart. Melt your forehead. Really try to draw the glutes and the tailbone as close towards the heels as you can. Spread the fingertips wide here. And your choice on how generous of a bend you have in your elbows, or maybe they're super straight. Whatever you need. Take it in this moment. Feel the beautiful support underneath you. From your mat, from the floor, from the structure you're in, from the earth. Last moment here in a wide child's pose. This really deep stretch for the ankles and the knees. As you inhale, again, bat your eyelashes open, and then sort of slightly at a snail's pace, no rush, no hurry, no worries. Lift yourself up to tabletop position. Swoop that ponytail aside and bring your knees back closer together, like how they would be for tabletop position. And now we're going to lift ourselves up. So start to walk your hands in towards your body. Come into bringing your knees somewhere in the center of your mat. Fix your clothes. Grab your blocks, actually, and bring your blocks to, we'll try the highest height right now, outside of the feet. So bring one to the left and one to the right. And here we go. Hands can be at heart center, or hands can be on the hips, or hands on the low back with the fingertips shining down. We're going to pull our hip flexors forward. So that's going to engage our glutes. Squeeze the glutes, pull the navel to spine, roll the shoulders back. We're gently coming into Camel Pose. Another huge heart opener. Start to look up towards the ceiling. As you do so, you're using a big breath in to roll the shoulders back even more. I think I'm actually going to go with hands on the waist. I get a little bit more space there to roll my shoulders back. And then when you're ready, keep it going. Keep the shoulders rolling back. lift the sternum up towards the ceiling. We're looking up towards the ceiling. Our glutes are squeezing together. Hip flexors are pulling forward. And then now we can go for resting one palm down on the block. And if we feel like that feels good, maybe we rest the other palm down on the block. And you may have to shift it around, and that's okay. Maybe you try one block at a time, keeping the opposite hand on your waist, or inhaling to reach the fingertips up and back. Dropping the head maybe inhale to bring that hand back to your waist, and try the opposite side. So I dropped my block here. I'm gonna bend down and get my block, bring it back to the outside of my right foot, and then now switch sides. If you need to come out of this, my best suggestion is to really press down to the tops of your feet, pull your navel to spine, pretend like somebody has a string attached to your sternum, squeeze your glutes, and come back up. Maybe you rest the sit bones down on the heels. Take a breath. Notice how you feel. And then inhale to bring it back up and try that opposite side. So inhale to really puff up the chest, roll the shoulders back. And then the next inhale, really puff up the chest even more, roll the shoulder blades back. And then an inhale again, really roll it back, puff up the chest. So each inhale allows you to open the chest even more. And then maybe it's resting the hand on the block or your heel. That works as well if you don't need the block. Totally fine. You can inhale to draw that hand all the way up and back as much as you can go, as far as you can go. And then when you've had enough, or maybe you want to try hands, one hand on each heel or block, squeezing the glutes, pulling the hip flexors forward. Last moment in our camel pose, whatever variation, whether it's just one hand back on a block, both hands on the heels or blocks. My best suggestion, if the hands are on the heels like me here, inhale to really reach one hand up and pretend like someone's lifting you up and out of this back bend. And then match that with the opposite hand. Both palms are up. Kiss them at the top, melt them together at the top, and then gently slide them down, hands at heart center. Bring your heels together, toes together, knees together, and send the hips back towards the heels. You can move the blocks out of the way if you did have them. And from here, we'll swing the legs around so we can come to sit down on our sit bones, soles of the feet together, knees super wide, thighs very heavy. Your hands can be on your ankles, maybe thumbs massaging the arches of your feet, or you can clasp your hands together, interlock those fingers, send them down outside around the outside of the feet. Inhale to really sit tall, find a proud chest. Exhale, maybe bend at the elbows. A chin tucked in towards the chest will usually always provide for a deeper stretch, a deeper sensation in the back and the spine. Notice if that's what you need, if that's what you're looking for. If not, maybe those elbows stay at a generous micro bend and you're just leaning forward. Soften your gaze. If you haven't already, find a really generous breath in through your nose and a sigh back out to release. Resting here in our butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana for a few rounds of breath. So, invitation here to close the eyes, trust the process, trust yourself, trust your body. Every time you exhale, settle a little deeper into your pose or fold deeper in towards yourself. Use the exhale to release. And the inhale is a loving fuel of energy. Last moment where we are. Just notice what's going on internally before you start to move out of your butterfly pose. Take this last moment and start to slowly slide yourself back up to a neutral spine. So maybe start with the elbows, bring them in. Keep your chin tucked in towards your chest if you had that engaged. Bring your hands back around. So good. You can use your hands to bring your knees together, thighs together, and we'll meet each other in a cross leg position like we did at the beginning of our class. Or you can come back into a sort of a locust pose. So drawing one heel really close in towards your body and then bringing the opposite one right in front, rooting down through your sit bones and then really rooting down through your knees. Inhale, reach the arms out and around and all the way up. Look up, palms kiss at the top and gently melt them down at heart center. Option to close the eyes here. Option to press the thumbs in towards the sternum, elbows super wide. Notice the next breath just beautifully and graciously flowing in through the nose. And then also notice that beautiful exhale back out. Notice how it just keeps going. No questions asked. Our breath has got our back. It's always here for us, whether we think about it or not. Whether we generate or force a certain breath pattern or not. See if you can allow that to spark joy within you. Feel abundant through the prana, through the life force that is always here for us. Use it in your practice. Maybe come into contact with noticing it as you generously pour yourself a glass of water, or you just slowly take a walk down a beautiful trail and notice trees. Notice that connection that you have to nature. I'm so excited that you tuned in and tapped into this video. Leave a comment down below to let me know exactly what you thought about this flow, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video.